Yo, this is the time of plays Pokemon Violet and as the sun shines here atop the Glaseado Mountain, well, where should we go next? So we're starting to thin out a bit on the amount of objectives. We have 2 more gyms, 2 more Starfall streets to go through, and Path Legends says we have 2 more Titans to face. But we already have went through one of the so-called Titans some time ago, but we bypassed it because we said we weren't ready for it. Well, ready, I think we are now. So we're going to spend today's episode to get to the location of the Titan we're going to face, and then the episode after that, we're going to fight the so-called Titan. Now, to the north here goes to a street, it's one of these Starfall Street people. We're not going to face Team Star today, because, well, they're a bit higher level, so we'll face them a bit later. But we'll get to them eventually. We're starting to get high level ourselves. As you can see, our team's now in the close to the mid-40s, and that means we're getting pretty rough and ready to go for our next objective. So we'll go north of Mount Nevera a bit later. If you haven't gotten yourself an ice type Pokemon, you want to get that, you can go and get a lot of them here. There are also some other types here, for example, as well as ghost types, because we were in a type with a ghost gym. And generally, ice type Pokemon are very strong, but I'd still say be cautious. Ice types are defensively kind of bad. The reason being is that they have 0 resistances aside from themselves. An Ice-type Pokemon will only be resistant to Ice-type moves. Everything else will either deal normal damage or super effective damage. And that, in my opinion, is a weakness for Ice-types. You generally want to have some resistances too. So I think that's a bit of a, I would say maybe poor game design. I want to say it. Perhaps it's not, but yeah. I really wish Ice-types just had a bit more defensive power. Even though offensively they are really strong. They were the best dragon killers, you can call them, in the start, because only dragons could be super effective against themselves, and then ice as well. So you remember back when they faced against Lance in red and blue, used Ice Beam, and all of his dragons were just destroyed one by one. We have a nice location here, though, as you can see as we go through these mountainous hills. So we have quite a view of the western part of Paldea. You can see here. There's Medali. We have this desert. This is the location we're going to go to. We have the crater. We're going to go to later as well. The great crater Paldea, which has a location we're going to spend some time with later. We have this big lake, where there's something to find as well. And there's quite an interesting area of things to see and discover, that's for sure. What other Pokemon here to go through as well? Is that a shiny? No, can't be. No. We just had this bit of a shiny thing, the Snom. It just has this glimpse because it's the ice crystals. So, Snom is a Pokemon from generation number 8, previous generation. It's a dual type bug and ice, which means it's super weak to fire. So one little fire move and that Snom is gonna be history. Sneasel here as well. Very fast Pokemon, but dual type dark and ice, which means it's very weak to fighting. We have Snover here, dual type grass and ice, which just like Snom has a major weakness when it comes to fire types. Because fire is super effective against both grass and ice. And that will double up. Got a revive here. And here we got a TM. Shadow Claw. Shadow Claw is one of the few but still very powerful not dark but ghost type physical moves. Most ghost moves are special attacks like Shadow Ball, but Shadow Claw is actually a physical move with a high percentage chance of critical hit. Sadly though, Ghost doesn't really have that strong type setup. It's good against itself, just like dragons are. They're also good against Psychic. That's pretty much it. Also, Ghost types cannot deal any damage to normal types, because normals, just like Ghost against them, are immune. There's a TM here, but we can't reach it, but no worries. Later we'll be able to climb, but that means we have to go to a Titan, which is one of the reasons why we're going to go for a Titan next. Luckily there's no fall damage in this game, so yes, you can jump down these cliffs. You won't suffer any fall damage. No need to worry about that, which is a good thing. But I do wish they had some more mechanics from Pokemon Legends Arceus though, where you, the player as well, could be injured from Pokemon or your own actions, but not the case here. We have this stake over there, which you can see shining. I'm gonna go and go through these later. Jump down here to the West Province, Area 3. Other Pokemon here. Let's just go down here too. Again, no fall damage here, but man, I'm glad there's no fall damage here. This would have hurt. Some Persians here as well. There's the Ravius. All kind of cool Pokemon, to say at least. There's some trainers here too, but I don't think they are that powerful. I mean, we took care of them when we went on to Monte Nevera for Medali, so you shouldn't have any issues to face them right now. But again, if you don't mind, then sure. Might be a good way as well to fill up the Pokédex in case you don't find Pokemon that you have encountered so far that trainers might have that might not find in the wild, at least. Easier to find in the wild. Hope you guys are enjoying the DLC content, the Teal Mask. I'm getting the Indigo Disc later this year, so it will be interesting to see how that one goes. We'll play through both of them after we've done everything else in the main game. So we will go through there as well to see what we have to explore. The Pokemon, the new ones, the old ones returning, etc, etc. Okay, heal up our Pokemon. So, the next Titan is in that desert area. It's a ground type. Ground type Pokemon are what we have to face. So ground is weak to a lot of things. They're weak to grass, they're weak to water, and yeah, other things too. Be careful of fire types, weak to ground. Rock types, weak to ground. Poison types, weak to ground. So yes, Clodsire is weak to its own type. And electric types too are also weak to ground. So we have Skeledirge, Pawmod, and Garganacl, and even Clodsire all are weak to ground. Brambleghast is a grass type. Grass is resistant to ground. And Azumarill is a water type, which is also super effective against ground. So we do have some good options with Brambleghast and Azumarill to do well against ground types. Feel free to do some TM shopping if you need some moves though, which are effective against ground types, regardless of what you choose. And yeah, generally be good with that. So, let's look at the map now. We're now in Medali, so we need to still go more further west before we can reach this desert area. And here we see Legend Titan badge ground. That's where we are going to go. So we can just either fly to Cascarafa, for example, probably the shortest way, because then you're right in the desert. Or even take this Watchtober if you went to the Asado Desert. Then you're right next to it. But nah, it's not fun. We still have more time in this episode. Might as well do some exploration. I figured we should go through this little tunnel area here. That would be kind of cool. Means you have to go west of here. West of Medali. Next explore the little cavern area that connects Medali and Cascarafa. And also to Port, what's it called again? Porto Marinada. Yeah. Now you're also gonna go up to the mountains and climb if you don't want to be going through tunnels. You can just climb as well, but generally it's better to just go through tunnels if you don't mind it. You also find different Pokemon there as well, considering where they live. Rock and ground types generally more living into the caves. But sometimes they also live on top of mountain tops as well. A Great Ball, which are still useful, but they're starting to lose a bit of power now, I feel. Starting to become a bit more useless. They're not strong enough, we need Ultra Balls, pretty much. But it can vary a bit. Here we have this river here, which is connected to the watchtower. We've been to watchtower, right, haven't we? We haven't. Oh, good, then we go to watchtower. Watchtowers also become a flight path that you can use, that you can fly to, as long as you have been there once. But we can't climb yet, so we have to just jump. And the sea. So jump in the water, but we have to get to a place where it's not too steep. Like here. So here we have the Castle Royal Lake. There's apparently a Titan in the sea there, but that Titan's a bit too high level for us, so we're gonna go there later. A Quick Ball, very good Pokeball. You all want to use it at the very first turn. That's when the power of it is at its highest. You can also try to use it later, but the power diminishes after the first turn. Up this watchtower. You always want to go top of watchtowers regardless, because there's always something on the top which might be very useful. Often a TM. Hurricane! So Hurricane is a powerful wind attack, or but not wind attack, but a flying move. Also causes confusion. The accuracy of Hurricane is a bit low, but it can be very strong. But also here we have Gimmighoul. And Gimmighoul, when beaten, see this one is level 50, starting to become very high level. When beaten, Gimmighoul will give a lot of his coins. Need a ton of them to evolve Gimmighoul. There we go. Get 50 more Gimmighoul coins. We need 1,000, I think, to evolve it. So that's important. And as soon as you've been to the watchtower, then you'll be able to use this place as a climb up. Oh, we jumped out, but luckily we have a very strong Pokédex. So now we can actually go to fly up here as well. You have a trainer here though. What trainer can this be? There's a town to the west, but there's an opponent right in front of you. Okay. Here we have Valentina the cook. Her Pokemon of choosing is Arboliva. Oh boy. So this is the fully evolved Pokemon of Smoliv. Yeah, this one is high level. She is too high level for us technically, but this can be good XP though. So Arboliva, this is a grass type. It's a very high level compared to us, but we should be fine. It's a Seed Sour, which causes the grassy terrain. Manageable, won't do much damage because fire types resist the grass. It's gonna heal us and heal Arboliva as well. So total number 2. Ash will take care of Arboliva. That's a victory. You're strong regardless of what direction you're headed, huh? Pretty much. So yeah, we're technically not ready to go here yet, but I don't want to go here because we were so close anyway, but the Pokemon, as you can see in this area, are much higher level than across the river, so you can see there's a bit of a level difference here. Get a dive ball. So if you are surfing in the water with your Miraidon or Koraidon, you face Pokemon in the water, then dive ball will have an increased catch chance, so it's a very good thing to use. So I said we're going to go through the tunnel, so go through the tunnel, let's just go through here. Here we have some more trainers we can face. For the Pokemon too. Meditites and others. Some of those stakes we can't reach yet. But these are stakes you want to remember for the future because it's important to find them for the future when you're going to face off against certain foes. But we're not going to talk more about that now because that was kind of a spoiler. I like the little cavern area. It's like a very open area. Almost these ledges. And you can see there's a lot of different Pokemon here. Some of them are ground types. You have Dug Trio here as well. Some old and some new. Noibat from Generation 6, Makihira and Hariyama. Even Flaffy, Giraffarig, etc, etc. Colonnade Hollow, one of the 10 sites of Paldea. You can say that. Alright, so now we are right near the desert area. Here you can place, you can also rest your Pokemon if you want to do that. Enjoy your picnicking. Bit of lag. I really hope the next generation of Nintendo console will make these games not lag. That's one reason I say that this game is good, but the potential is good, result varied. Here we're at the place where we went to Porto Marinada some time ago. Grab this item, but here was also a little Deerling. Deerling changes form depending on which season it is. So it has 4 forms. There's a Taurus as well. These are the Paldean Taurus. Generally they are normal types, or I mean not final types, they're fighting types. But they also have a chance to have a secondary typing depending on which version they play. So some Paldean Taurus will have a water type in Violet, and some of them will have a fire type in Scarlet. Can you help me? No. Help yourself. Did we get enough trainers from this guy? Let's see. Hello there. Hello there indeed. I defeated 0 trainers and we defeat 4. Okay. No biggie. Let's rest up our Pokemon. There we go. More tips here. You always get these tips when you go to the Pokemon Center, and eventually after you've done them enough you will no longer get more tips, but they'll be saved, so you can always go and look at them whenever you want. Anyway, that'll be the end of this episode. We have now gotten to the outer area of the Porto Marinada place where we can find the desert area. We have been here before, but this time we're going to go deeper into the desert to find a certain Titan Pokemon that is lurking. And this Titan Pokemon, well, it's very different than what we have seen, and by looking at it, we will maybe know more of what the post-game and the end-game of Pokémon Scarlet and Violet can provide us, because it is indeed quite, well, time-bending. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on social media. That's it for now. See you again next time as my journey in Pokemon Violet continues.